Good morning, Peninsula High School. My name is Riley Morey. Our top stories today: homecoming, photo competition, knowledge bowl, weather with Lila, sports with Carson, and so much more today on Peninsula News. What a last week, Seahawks. Spirit Week was a great success, and it was great to see a lot of our new students get into the Seahawks spirit. A big win for our football team and a giant turnout for our dance on Saturday, all made for a great Spirit Week. Way to show up and be involved, Seahawks. The Madrona Music Festival of Gig Harbor is having a photography competition. The event will be held October 18th at the Keith Peninsula Civic Center. Submissions are due October 15th. The contest is open to all ages, and you can submit up to 5 images. Photos must be original by the entrant and must be submitted as a JPEG only. All photos will have a title, photographer's name, and a short description of your photo. Entries can be emailed at editor@yonlander.com or visit the Madrona Music Festival website at www.madronafest.com. For further questions, if you are interested, please contact Mr. Mick in room 518. PHS Knowledge Bowl starts Thursday, October 9th. Come meet us in Mr. Kendall's room at 2 o'clock, number 208, for fun trivia games, snacks, and more. We'll send off now to Lila in your field with the weather for this upcoming week.
Good morning, Peninsula. I'm Lila Klinger with this week's weather. Today will be partly cloudy with a high of 60 and a low of 47. Thursday will bring some light rain and it will begin to get cooler with a high of 62 and a low of 49. Friday will also have light rain with a high of 60 and a low of 50. Saturday will have continued shower with a high of 57 and a low of 48. Sunday the showers will continue with a high of 55 and a low of 45. That's it for this week's weather. I'm Lila Klingler.
And now with this week's sports, here's Carson.
Thank you, Riley. This week in PHS Sports. Our Seahawks gave their all this past Friday at the much-anticipated homecoming football game. Peninsula destroyed North Thurston with a whopping score of 50-0. It was a great game for our Seahawks, scoring 43-0 in just the first half of the game. On Saturday, cross country faced more than 120 schools and 4,500 runners from all over the Pacific Northwest at Chambers Creek. Girls varsity came away with a top finish, second in the silver division, and boys varsity placed fifth in the silver division. The runners continue to train and get faster as we approach our one and only home meet next Wednesday, October 15th versus GIG, CK, and SK at Roy Anderson Field. Come support our cross country Seahawks. That covers it for this week. From the PHS Sports Desk with your Peninsula News Sports, I'm Carson Morrison. Back to you, Riley.
And for the National, here's Tress.
Thank you, Riley. This is Trace Clements with the National. About a week ago, the Senate failed to pass a new governmental budget. On October 1st, the fiscal year lapsed, and without a new budget, federal funding has been suspended. This means that all non-essential federal employees have been furloughed or put on unpaid time off. All essential employees are still required to work, however, will not be paid until the budget is passed. This also means that federal programs are no longer receiving funding. This, combined with lack of staff, means that many functions of the government are suspended until a resolution is passed. This has a very real impact on millions who eagerly wait for it to be passed. If the lapse in funding continues past October, many federally funded programs like Veteran Affairs and SNAP may see an increased lack of functionality. In the Senate, there are negotiations as both parties fight for what they believe is right. While at the time there is no official negotiation, the ball is beginning to roll as we've reached a full week of shutdown. The Senate remains united that a resolution does need to be passed. However, the sides disagree on how it should be passed, with the main disagreement being about the Affordable Care Act. At this time, it's still unclear on when we can expect a resolution. This was the National with Trace Clements. Back to you, Riley.
Now it's time for another segment of Staff Talks with Brandy. Take it away, Brandy.
The new ASL teacher, Miss Clifford. My first question for you, were you always a teacher?
Brandy, as a matter of fact, I was not, but I have taught on and off for the last 20 years. The first time I taught at a school was in India when I was 20 years old. But I have been an interpreter and an interpreter trainer for many years before I came to Peninsula High School.
Was it hard for you to learn the different signs and different sign languages?
No, I find different languages fascinating, and when I learn languages, and specifically sign language in other countries, like I taught in India, I learned the alphabet that they do in the British form, so A, B, C, D, which is two-handed, where American Sign Language is one-handed for the alphabet, A, B, C, D, as you know.
What made you want to be an ASL teacher?
It's a great question. Both my parents are deaf, so American Sign Language is actually my first language. I'm a native user or heritage user of American Sign Language. So sign language is near and dear to my heart.
Do you have any children?
I do. I have a 3-year-old son, and just the other day when it poured cats and dogs, we got all dressed up in our rain gear and we jumped in puddles, hand in hand, jumping in the biggest puddles, making the biggest splashes we could.
Does he know sign language?
He does, actually, and when he was about 1, he knew more sign language than he did English. But now that he's 3, he speaks way more than he knows sign.
My last question, what hobbies are you interested in? Have you started? Are you doing outside of school?
Oh, I've got quite a few hobbies. One of them is kayaking. I love kayaking in the harbor or other places. I also love painting. I usually use acrylic as my medium. And every once in a while I try to play guitar. But even though I've been playing guitar since high school, I'm not very good. Be awesome together!
That wraps up our broadcast for this week. My name is Riley Maury. I'm joined by Carson Katie. Behind the scenes, thanks to our broadcast director, Ronan Goose, producers Trace, Hallie, June, Angelina, Kit, Brandy, Mr. Mick, student leader, school administration, and a big thanks to you all for watching. We'll see you here next week on Peninsula News.